Her name is Ava, and before her, I thought love was just something people talked about in songs and movies. We met at the beach one morning. She was sketching waves in a little notebook, her hair blowing wild in the wind. I asked if I could sit next to her. She smiled and said, "Sure, but only if you're not afraid of sharks." I laughed. Right then I was hooked. She made me believe in peace, in laughter, in the future. We dated for 2 years. She met my family and knew all my secrets, even the embarrassing ones. We talked about marriage, kids, building a small cabin by the lake someday. She said I made her feel safe, like the world couldn't touch her when I was near. She was everything I ever dreamed of, until he showed up. It started with a knock on her door one rainy night. I was at her apartment, helping her hang a new painting. When she opened the door, her smile vanished. There he stood, soaking wet, tall, scarred, his eyes were like steel. "Hello, Ava," he said. His voice was low, rough like sandpaper. I stood behind her, confused. "Who's this?" She didn't speak right away. Then she whispered, "This is Liam. My ex." I felt like the air got sucked out of the room. Liam had just been released from prison, 15 years behind bars. Ava never told me much about her past, just that she had once been with someone dangerous. I never pushed. I thought it didn't matter. But now he was real and standing in front of us. She invited him in, not with joy, not with fear, but with guilt. They sat on the couch. I watched like I was outside my own life. Liam didn't take his eyes off her. He spoke calmly, like he wasn't even surprised I was there. "I told myself," he said, "that if I made it out, I'd find you." Ava shook her head. "You shouldn't have come. You wrote to me." She blinked fast. "Once, years ago, to say goodbye." He smiled, still gave me hope. I wanted to scream, to stand up and say, "She's mine now, go back to your world." But I didn't, because Ava didn't speak those words either. And that silence haunted me. That night I asked her, "Why didn't you tell me about him?" She looked at the floor. "Because he was part of a past I buried." "Do you still love him?" "No," she said too fast. But I saw it, the storm in her eyes. And then everything started to shift. She became distant, distracted. She'd stare at her phone. She said she needed space to think. Liam kept popping up. Once outside her art class. Once by the cafe where we used to have Sunday brunch. Once at my house. I came home and found him sitting on the porch. Smoking. "Relax," he said. "I'm just getting to know the man who took my girl." "She was never yours," I said. He just smiled. Slow and cold. "Wasn't she?" The next week, Ava stopped answering my texts. Then she disappeared. Her phone was off. Her apartment was locked. Her art supplies are gone. I drove around the city like a madman, asking anyone if they'd seen her. No one had. Until a letter came in the mail. No return address. It was her handwriting. Just one line. "I'm sorry, don't come looking for me. It's safer this way." My heart split open. What had Liam done? Did she choose him? Or was she in danger? I had to know. Because Ava wasn't just a dream anymore. She was my life. And I wasn't going to lose her, not to a man who stepped out of the shadows after 15 years, carrying secrets that could ruin everything. I read the letter 100 times. "I'm sorry, don't come looking for me. It's safer this way." But she didn't sound safe. She sounded trapped. I couldn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling, clutching the note like it might whisper more if I held it tight enough. The world outside was quiet, but inside me, a storm was growing. The next morning, I went to Ava's old apartment. It was empty, clean, too clean. Her landlord said she moved out 2 days ago. She said she was going to stay with family. He told me, locking the door. Didn't say where. Ava had no family left. That's when I knew she didn't leave me. She was taken, and Liam was behind it. I started digging. I knew where to begin: the prison. I drove 2 hours to Greywall Penitentiary, the concrete fortress that had held Liam for 15 years. I told the officer at the front desk I was doing a personal background check for safety. I lied. I didn't care. The man behind the glass gave me a long look, then handed me a file. I took it to my car and opened it like it might burn me. Inside were pages of notes. Liam's record. Fights, solitary confinement. A warning label: charismatic, manipulative, avoid deep contact. But something else caught my eye. A letter from Ava, written 7 years ago. "Liam, I hope you've changed. I forgive you. But I can't be part of your story anymore." "Forgive you? What did he do?" I kept flipping. One page stood out. Visitor log, Ava Williams. Date: 3 months ago. My blood turned cold. She had gone to see him before he got out. Why hadn't she told me? I had so many questions, and no one to ask. I went home, my mind spinning. I sat in the dark, trying to think. That's when I saw it, Ava's sketchbook. She'd left it in my car, by mistake, a week ago. I flipped through the pages. Waves, trees, clouds. Then something new. A face. His face. Liam's. Drawn in pencil, but sharp and dark. like she'd carved him into the paper. Below it was one word. Watch. Not look, not remember. Watch. What did that mean? The next day, I drove to Ava's art school. I asked her best friend, Leela, if she'd heard from her. She hesitated. Then she said, Ava told me if anything happened to give you this. She reached into her backpack and handed me a USB stick. I stared at it, heart racing. What's on it? I didn't ask, she whispered, but she was scared when she gave it to me. Really scared. I took it home and plugged it into my laptop. There was only one file. The truth. I clicked. The screen lit up with a shaky video. Ava sat in a room I didn't recognize. Her eyes were red, her voice low. If you're watching this, it means I'm gone. Not dead, I hope, but not where I should be. Liam found me, and he's not the man I knew when I was 17. He's worse. She looked behind her, then leaned closer. He says he wants to start over, but I think he wants revenge. Not just on me, on anyone who kept me from him. That includes you. My heart dropped. He blames me for the years he lost, but he's hiding something. Something he did before prison. Something no one ever found out. I found part of it in an old journal, but I was too scared to tell the police. So I'm telling you. She held up a small piece of torn paper. It had a number on it. 38 to be. What does it mean? She whispered. I don't know, but if anything happens to me, follow the number, find the rest, and don't trust anyone, especially not Liam. The screen went black. I sat frozen, hands trembling. Ava wasn't running. She was leaving me a trail, and I was going to follow it, into the dark, into the past, into whatever Liam had buried. I was going to bring her back, even if it meant losing everything. The number wouldn't leave my mind. 38 to be. I scribbled it on every scrap of paper I could find. I repeated it to myself over and over like it was a code that could unlock everything. What did Ava mean? A locker number, a storage unit, a safe deposit box. I started with the basics. First stop, the bus station. Yeah, it sounded random, but I remembered something. When Ava and I went downtown a few months back, she pointed at an old locker wall and said, "Those look like they're hiding secrets." At the time I laughed. Now I was searching. I rushed to the station, heart pounding. The lockers were still there, dusty, dented, forgotten. I scanned the rows. 37, 38. There it was. Second row. Locker 2. Letter B scratched onto the side in fading marker. My breath hitched. I tugged the handle. Locked. Of course. I looked around. The place was empty, except for a man mopping the floor and humming to himself. I walked up to the counter. Hey, I lost the key to my locker. Number 38 to be, is there any way? He gave me a bored look. Got ID. I froze. I couldn't exactly say. Hey, my possibly kidnapped girlfriend left me a video warning me about her psycho ex and told me to find this locker. So I lied. My sister rented it, I said. She's out of town, left something important in it, real important. The man sighed. Lucky for you, I'm tired today. He grabbed a giant ring of keys, shuffled over, found the right one and clicked it open. Then he walked off. I pulled open the locker door. Inside was a small, dusty backpack. Nothing else. I reached in, pulled it out, and opened the zipper. A journal, black leather, worn, the initials LJ carved into the corner. Liam James. I opened to the first page. If I go down, I'm taking them with me. I sat down right there on the cold floor and kept flipping. Most of it was madness, scribbled words, crossed out names, half sentences like they think I forgot, and I see them watching. But then, a list, names, dates, amounts of money, and next to each entry, one word. Gone. My hands began to sweat. People were disappearing. One of the names, Detective Armendez, $5,000 gone. Another, Sarah Ellis, $9,200 gone. The most recent, Ava Williams, $0 pending. My heart stopped. Pending. He was planning something. I grabbed my phone and snapped photos of every page. Then I zipped the bag, closed the locker, and rushed outside into the cold air. My thoughts were screaming. This wasn't just some jealous ex. Liam was hiding crimes, possibly murders, and Ava knew. She had stumbled onto something, and now she was missing. I got in my car and started driving. I didn't know where yet. I just knew I couldn't stop. Halfway down the road, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. Static. Then a voice. Low, cold. You should have stayed out of this. My stomach dropped. Liam. Silence. Then, she trusted me first, you know. She wrote to me, came back to see me. She opened the door, not you. I gripped the steering wheel tight. Where is she? He laughed softly. You want to be the hero. Fine, let's see how far you'll go. Then the line went dead. I slammed the brakes. My heart was racing. He was watching me. He knew I found the journal. And that meant Ava was still alive. Still close. Still counting on me. I looked down at the journal again, and that last page burned into my mind. Ava Williams, $0 pending. Not if I could help it. Liam's voice echoed in my ears. Let's see how far you'll go. I gritted my teeth and turned the car around. I didn't know where I was going yet, but I knew what I had. Liam's journal, Ava's video, and the truth no one else knew. I stopped by a small diner near the edge of town, somewhere I knew didn't have cameras. I sat in the back booth, laid out the journal, and flipped back to the names and dates. One entry stood out, now more than ever. Sarah Ellis, $9,200 gone. Date, 4 months ago. I didn't recognize the name, but I remembered something. A story on the news. A woman, Sarah Ellis, had gone missing just before Christmas. No signs, no leads. Police said she might have left town, but her parents didn't believe it. And now she was in Liam's book, labeled gone, which meant he had done something. I searched online for her case again, scrolling, reading. Then I found it. Sarah used to volunteer at a halfway house downtown, helping recently released prisoners adjust to life outside. And guess who had been there the same month she disappeared? Liam James. I stared at the screen. He'd done it before. He was doing it again. And Ava was next, unless I moved fast. I drove to the halfway house. It was raining now, thin drops tapping on the windshield like a countdown. The building was small, gray, worn down. I knocked on the door and a tired-looking man answered. Can I help you? I'm looking into someone who stayed here. Liam James. He narrowed his eyes. Who are you? Someone who might stop him before someone else disappears. The man stared at me, then nodded slowly. Come in. He pulled out an old file box and handed me Liam's intake form. I scanned it, address, contact, job placement, then something else. Emergency contact. Max D, storage manager, dockside units, lot 12. I circled the name. Max D. Storage units, dockside. It felt like something cracked open in my brain. What if Liam had a place, a hidden space where he kept things or people? I didn't wait. I drove straight to dockside storage, a place near the edge of the harbor, where shipping containers and metal units stretched for blocks. Lot 12 was in the far corner. The gate was half open. The rain was heavier now, but I didn't care. I jumped out, soaked in seconds, and started searching the rows. Then I saw it. Unit 12B. No lights, no sound. But something was off. A chain lock had been snapped. The door was pulled shut, but not fully. I grabbed a crowbar from my trunk and yanked the door open. Darkness, the smell of mold, oil, and something else. Something metallic. I stepped in slowly, holding my flashlight out in front of me. Boxes lined the walls, old clothes, tools, a mattress in the corner. And then, a sound, a breath. I turned sharply. Ava, tied to a chair, duct tape over her mouth, eyes wide with shock. Ava. I dropped the flashlight, rushed to her, tore the tape off, and started untying the ropes. She gasped, trembling. You found me, how did you find me? I followed what you left behind. I said, cutting the last rope. Are you okay? Did he hurt you? No, she whispered. Not yet. Then her face changed. Fear. Eli, he's coming back. He went to get something. My heart jumped. We had to get out, now. I helped her up. She was weak but standing. We stepped outside into the storm, and then froze. A black car was pulling into the lot, headlights slicing through the rain, and Liam stepped out. Calm, holding something in his hand. A crowbar. The rain poured harder, drumming on the metal rooftops like war drums. Ava gripped my arm, her body shaking, not just from cold but from fear. Liam stood in front of the car, his figure a shadow, beneath the blinding headlights. The crowbar hung loose in his hand, but I could feel the weight behind it. He saw us, and he smiled. Going somewhere, he called out, voice smooth like oil. I stepped in front of Ava, arms wide. You're not taking her again. He tilted his head. Taking, Eli. I didn't take her, she came with me. I felt Ava flinch behind me. She was scared, I snapped. You manipulated her, you threatened her. Liam took a slow step forward. And yet, she wrote to me in prison. She came to see me. Why do you think that is? His eyes locked on mine. Maybe you're not the hero you think you are. I didn't move. I saw your journal, I said. The names. The people you hurt. Sarah Ellis. Detective Mendez. Ava was next. His smile vanished. The crowbar lifted, just slightly. Should have left it alone, he muttered. You don't know what you're messing with. I know enough, and the cops will too. You have no proof, he growled, stepping closer. Ava stepped beside me now, her voice trembling but strong. You're wrong, Liam. I recorded you. I left the USB with Leela. The whole plan, the names, the money. His eyes flickered. That was it. The crack in his mask. You little, he growled, charging forward with the crowbar raised. But I was faster. I grabbed a shovel leaning against a nearby unit and swung. It hit his arm with a crack, and the crowbar clattered to the ground. Liam roared and tackled me. We hit the gravel hard, fists flew. I blocked, he punched, I swung again. My body screamed in pain, but I kept going. I was fighting for Ava. I was fighting for everything. Then, flashing lights, sirens, police. Ava had called them with the phone she snatched from the corner of the unit. Within seconds, officers rushed in, guns raised, yelling, "Get down, get on the ground." Liam froze. Then he smirked. Slowly he dropped to his knees, hands raised. "You have no idea who I really am," he hissed as they cuffed him. "This doesn't end here." But they dragged him away, and for the first time in what felt like forever, the storm began to slow. Ava and I stood there, soaking wet, watching the squad car drive away. Her hand slid into mine. "You saved me," she whispered. "No," I said, "you saved yourself. I just followed the trail you left behind." She looked at me, tears mixing with rain. "I was so scared." "I know. I thought I lost everything." "You didn't lose me." It took weeks for everything to settle. Liam was officially charged with multiple counts: kidnapping, extortion, conspiracy, and being connected to the disappearance of Sarah Ellis. His journal, the USB recording, and Ava's testimony were enough to finally put him away. For good this time. 15 years hadn't changed him. But this time, the truth caught him. Ava and I stayed quiet after it all. No big plans, no speeches, just silence. Healing. Some nights, she'd wake up from nightmares and reach for my hand. And I'd hold it until she fell asleep again. We didn't talk about forever anymore. Not yet. But we talked about tomorrow. She started painting again. I caught her once, sketching a beach, a crooked lighthouse, and two people sitting side by side, just dots. Really, but I knew it was us. I kept her note in my wallet. "I'm sorry, don't come looking for me. It's safer this way." And every time I saw it, I smiled. Because I did come looking. And I found more than the girl I dreamed of. I found a fighter, a survivor. And somehow, we found each other again. In the middle of fear, in the heart of chaos, in the wreckage of the past. We chose to stay together.